Steph Curry has shattered every expectation, demolishing defenses, and rewriting NBA history. But make no mistake, this isn't just about records. This is about redefining greatness. Curry isn't just the greatest shooter ever, he's the only player to single-handedly transform the entire game. His dominance isn't up for debate anymore, it's undeniable. And if you're not paying attention, you're missing out on the most earth-shattering revolution basketball has ever seen.
Okay, Sacramento knows who's getting the ball. They double-teamed him. They did everything that you're supposed to do with Steph Curry. Why didn't any of this work?
Because Stephen Curry is superhuman. If you look at his stat line, first of all, what's more impressive, which no one is talking about, the dude took 38 field goal attempts, Theodore. He was 20 for 38. 38 field goal attempts. You don't understand how great of shape you have to be in to sustain that. Yeah. And you could double, triple team him all you want. In today's game where there's freedom of movement and you can't hold, clutch, grip, elbow, you're going to have nights like this. And in a game 7, I don't care if it was on the road or at home, against a team with very little to no experience other than their head coach who has won championships with the team that he was going against, you kind of figured it would be this type of outcome.
Steve Kerr mentioned Steph Curry in the same sentence with Michael Jordan.
Yep, I can see it. Again, I don't want people flooding my Twitter inbox, but you got to look at the historical context. And Michael did everything in the air. Air Jordan. He revolutionized the game. He changed the way we thought. The baggy shorts, the black socks, the shoes, obviously the Air Jordans. Stephen Curry has taken shooting in the art form of it and moving without the ball to a different level. And because I have a 9-year-old and I go to all these games, the first thing kids do, they know they can't dunk and fly like Michael Jordan, but they all believe they can shoot like Stephen Curry. And that's the first thing they do is start hoisting up threes to try and be like their hero, Stephen Curry. So you have heroes to most in Michael Jordan, and you have a lot of heroes in Stephen Curry. I see the comparison.
But who's had a bigger impact on the sport? As far
Michael Jordan.
No, from playing.
Well, here's the thing. I'll take that back. I will say Stephen Curry for this reason. He's playing in the age of social media. There wasn't that when Michael Jordan played. You had to actually watch the games. There wasn't, you go back on your phone and replay. Stephen Curry's in the digital age. So we have access to Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and we see the highlights and the plays and, ESPN 360, every talk show. A lot of that was just beginning with Michael Jordan, and it wasn't around. So I would say Stephen Curry has had the bigger global impact. I think Michael Jordan's really now more so famous for the shoes.
The brand, the marketing.
The brand,
the
brand.
Yeah, the
people forget
reach.
how great he is and was.
And it shouldn't have taken this game, but I'm going to use this game as a springboard into when Steph is all said and done. How does he get into the top 10 players of all time?
I think he may be in there. I think everyone's saying this was a legacy game for Stephen Curry. To me, I think his legacy game was in the finals last year versus Boston in that closeout win on the road in Boston. To me, that was his legacy game because he did it he won one without KD, the first one. Then he won 2 with KD, and everyone's like, okay, well, they needed KD to win those championships. And he was never a finals MVP, and that was a finals MVP series closeout game. To me, that was his legacy game. To me, it was time to put the kids to bed. To me, that was that kind of statement. All right, I'm done messing with my food. These kids are annoying me. Yes, they're entertaining. They're an up-and-coming team, but it's time to put the kids to bed. And it was that type of game, and Curry made it. He just wanted to put a statement on putting the kids to bed.
All right, so you have Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, Kareem, Kobe.
Tim Duncan.
Ooh.
Tim
Okay.
Duncan would be absolutely in the top 10.
So you got
Bill Russell.
You got Wilt in there.
I want to think about Shaq. I may go with Shaq over Will.
Okay.
How many am I up to now?
You know what? I think you almost have to take Russell and Wilt out of this. It's a different game.
Yeah, but I got to value those championships by
All right.
Russell.
Okay.
I do.
All right. So Duncan does Bird make the top 10?
Oh man. Oh, Magic.
Magic. I got to put Bird/Magic or Magic/Bird.
Can they be one?
Yeah.
Can they be one?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm going to have to do that for what they meant
Good.
to the game.
Thank you.
I'm going to do Magic/Bird.
Bird. Thank you. Okay. Magic/Bird. Michael.
But I might
Kareem.
give Michael 2 spots, man. Like Mike's
You're
1
right.
and 2. 1 and 2.
You're right.
Okay, so
Kobe, Shaq, Tim Duncan, Magic Bird, MJ, Curry.
is Durant in there?
Not on this list.
I think
quite
we're
yet.
running out of spots, aren't we?
Outside looking in. He's on the outside looking in. I think if he wins
What if he
Another
wins this year?
championship.
What if he wins this year?
and is Finals MVP, yeah, you might have to think about him.
Because that would be 3 Finals MVPs.
Yeah.
Okay. He'd have to win one more to get into consideration for the top.
Into consideration. Correct.
But you have Steph Curry in the top 10.
I have Curry in the top 10 because he also changed the way we perceived shooting.
Okay.
He's the greatest shooter the game has ever seen.
Steph Curry's rise was nothing short of explosive. From being the overlooked guard from Davidson, doubted at every step, to redefining the role of a point guard, Curry's path has been paved with unmatched tenacity and skill. Early injuries, constant doubts from critics, and the pressure of carrying a franchise, none of it could hold him back. And now, he's carved his name in NBA history with a legacy that overshadows the giants before him. Curry didn't just overcome adversity, he obliterated it. His rise isn't a story of survival, it's one of domination. This wasn't just about winning championships, it was about changing the entire game. Before Curry, the three-point shot was a strategic weapon. After Curry, it became the weapon. His influence goes beyond his personal stats. It's felt in every team that now tries to build a strategy around shooting from deep. Without Steph Curry, modern basketball looks entirely different. And as Curry changed the league, he elevated the expectations, showing the world that true greatness demands innovation. Steph Curry doesn't just beat defenders, he humiliates them. Over the years, some of the league's best have tried to shut him down, but against Curry, defense is an exercise in futility. His quick handles, his ability to read defenses in real time, and his seemingly endless range mean that no matter how much pressure you apply, he finds a way to burn you. In fact, some of Curry's greatest highlights come from him absolutely dismantling some of the toughest defenses the NBA has ever seen. During the 2016 playoffs, the league saw just how dangerous Curry could be. Facing the Oklahoma City Thunder in Game 6, he delivered one of the most iconic three-point shots in NBA history, pulling up from 35 feet and sinking it with ease, leaving a stunned arena in silence. That moment wasn't just a dagger for the Thunder, it was a message to the entire league: you can't stop me. Curry isn't just a shooter, he's a force of nature. With every season, Curry continues to defy expectations, pushing the boundaries of what's possible in basketball. The numbers don't lie. Steph Curry is the greatest shooter in NBA history. Over 3,000 made three-pointers, countless game winners, and an efficiency that no one else even comes close to matching. But this isn't just about making shots, it's about making them when it matters most. Time and time again, Curry has delivered in the clutch, hitting shots that have turned games and entire playoff series around. He has rewritten the record books, and the gap between him and every other shooter in history is massive. Before Curry, no one thought pulling up from 30 or 35 feet was a reliable strategy. But for him, it's routine. His accuracy from distances that others wouldn't even attempt has changed the way the game is played. Teams now expect players to take and make long-range shots because Curry showed them it's possible. And while others have tried to replicate his style, none have come close to matching his consistency and precision. Steph Curry isn't just the best shooter in NBA history, He's changed the definition of what shooting excellence means. But Curry's greatness isn't confined to shooting alone. His dominance on the court is rooted in more than just threes. Steph Curry's numbers are staggering. We're not just talking about points. He redefined the metrics of success in the NBA. In terms of efficiency, Curry's shooting splits are unprecedented. 47% from the field, over 43% from beyond the arc, and nearly 91% from the free throw line. He is the definition of a 5-0-4-0-9-0 player, a feat that only the most elite players in the league can dream of achieving. But what's more impressive is how Curry has maintained this level of excellence for over a decade. His 2 MVPs, one of them unanimous, further prove what everyone now knows. Steph Curry isn't just a shooter, he's a game changer. His ability to dominate while maintaining such incredible efficiency is what makes him stand alone at the top of the NBA's all-time list. And with 4 championships under his belt, each one reinforcing his claim to greatness, Curry's legacy as one of the best to ever do it is already set in stone. And yet, even with these numbers, the true weight of Curry's impact stretches far beyond individual accolades. Curry's influence isn't limited to the NBA. He has changed basketball on a global scale. Across the world, young players and aspiring athletes are trying to emulate what Curry has done. Every kid with a basketball dreams of pulling up from 30 feet like Curry. And teams across all levels are now focused on developing their three-point game because Curry proved its power. His global influence is immeasurable, but one thing is clear: Steph Curry's impact will be felt for generations. But it's not just about his influence on the game. Curry's philanthropy and commitment to helping communities have also set him apart as a role model. He's built schools, funded programs for underprivileged youth, and used his platform to drive positive change both on and off the court. Steph Curry's legacy isn't just about championships or MVP awards, it's about inspiring the next generation of players and leaders. As his influence continues to grow, the next generation of players will carry Curry's legacy with them. Steph Curry isn't just the best shooter of all time, he's the most impactful player the NBA has ever seen. The GOAT debate often revolves around Jordan, LeBron, and Kobe, but what separates Curry is how he transformed the very fabric of basketball. His style, his shooting, and his leadership have changed the way the game is played, not just for his generation, but for every generation to come. He stands alone in his ability to influence how the sport itself has evolved. Curry's dominance isn't just about numbers, it's about changing everything. So while Jordan and LeBron may have dominated their respective eras, Steph Curry has done something no one else has. He's redefined what it means to be great. His legacy isn't just about winning titles or breaking records, it's about changing the way the game is played. And when it's all said and done, Curry will be remembered not just as a revolutionary shooter, but as the player who transformed basketball forever. Steph Curry isn't done yet. At 35 years old, with championships, MVPs, and every three-point record to his name, he continues to break barriers. The league now revolves around his style of play, and as the Warriors prepare for their next run at the title, one thing is certain: Curry is still at the top, and his reign is far from over. What will the future hold for this unstoppable force? One more myth? Another title? One thing is clear: Steph Curry has already changed basketball, and his story is still being written.